Welcome back to Money Talks. Just like the Chinese stock market, US stocks are strong. Unlike the Chinese stock market, however, the US market's astonishing growth began in 2009 and has now gone on for 6 years. It's expected to keep growing at least through to 2015. A good place to put your money, but if you're in China, that's hard to do. Most of the time, people don't even try. Well, one Shanghai company is offering a quick way to get Chinese investors into the US market, if you don't worry about all that pesky paperwork. Let's take a plunge. Lightbulb is sponsored by ICBC.
When it comes to picking which is best horse to ride, investors may want to stick with good and stable ones. Many believe the US stock market could be a good choice. As the biggest stock market in the world, there is a multitude of companies to invest in. A simple way is just to buy well-established companies, like the legendary investor Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, which announced sales up 20% earlier this week, or Tesla, with an average yearly return of 88% in the past 3 years. But it's not that easy to become an investor on the US market.
我其实以前有过美股投资的那个经历，但是因为账户在国外嘛，所以很不方便。我先要把人民币转成美元，美元打过去的话，费用是比较高的，300人民币这样子。设立账户的话，可能是1周时间左右，就是我要把资料寄给他们。
Gongming has an idea to get around all that. He set up his finance advisory firm DACx at the end of last year, and his first project is crowdfunding to buy American stocks. For example, DACx will split one Buffett stock share, which is now worth around 1.4 million RMB, into 1 million pieces, each one worth 1.4 RMB.
中国的普通投资者来说，美股是一个全新的市场，特别是对于一些不太接触美股的人来说，美股可能会是他们有兴趣的地方。而且像巴菲特这些经过数十年的考验，而且能够对投资者提供一个相对来说非常稳定回报的股票，是很多投资者也许有兴趣的。出于这一点，我们会选择这些对普通投资者也许会很有吸引力的公司，让他们有机会去参与这些公司的一块成长。
Right now, there are some 30 US stocks available on Mr. Gong's DACx trading platform. Aside from the expensive Berkshire Hathaway, the prices of other stocks on offer range from around 300 RMB to some 3,000 RMB per share in New York. Why wouldn't you buy shares like that yourself? Well, in addition to saving you all that paperwork, DACx will offer you a mixed portfolio of stock deals.
很多人一开始在尝试的时候，我就想尝试一个组合。花2000块钱，我就可以买到苹果、谷歌、特斯拉，甚至是巴菲特的一部分。在这情况下，就变得非常灵活。
Gong's crowdfunding platform has been operating for just 2 months and has already drawn in thousands of users. The average investor is putting in about 5,000 RMB.
以前的投资的话，就是会把一些零的钱放在余额宝里面，然后最近不是收率不是很高嘛，才4点几，然后平时也是一个上班族，然后大概身边也就剩下几千块钱，然后也是听朋友介绍，就是有一个网站，它可以就是以很少的钱来购买美国的股票，就是巴菲特股票，然后我就拿我的钱投了那个就是众筹网站。
Mutual fund traders have been doing this kind of thing for years, dividing up one share of stock into smaller bits that smaller investors can buy and sell. But how do you do that internationally without going through all the government paperwork? Let's just see what's really going on here.
The crowdfunding process at DACx starts from the real trader. He or she has a US stock account and takes care of the actual buying of the stock using money DACx collects with its crowdfunding platform. That money is collected in RMB, of course. So Mr. Gong's friend in the US just has to trust that Mr. Gong really has the money. Just the same way that Mr. Gong has to trust his friend in New York is really buying the stock they say they are. Remington Wang used to work as senior analyst in Wall Street and now is an independent investor. investor in China. He explains what comes next.
For DACx, I understand that they've created a system known as bit depository receipts, BDRs, which does a similar thing in that it helps companies that are not the shares are not digital, right? For traditional companies, you have real shares that need to be registered with the government. But we basically have they have an intermediary where they sign a contract saying that each of these BDRs is backed by this share. The intermediary holds these shares, and then these digital tokens can be traded easily over the internet.
DACx is the intermediary, so it decides the ratio between the BDRs and the real stocks. In the case of Berkshire Hathaway, for example, one real share in the company is equal to 1 million BDRs. One real Apple share equals 1,000 Apple BDRs. This ratio is arbitrary, but it's based on the size of the investment the crowdfunders are likely to be interested in.
这取决于它里面这实物资产和虚拟资产建立是怎样一个关联性，是由谁来做中介、做担保。就像我们发行的一个苹果股票，由我们来做担保，每一股苹果股票可以实时兑换到现实中的一股苹果股票。那么通过这个来引入，将实物资产引入到数字资产当中，就取决于整个中介的信用能力。
So the crowdfunders in China are not really buying the stock; they are buying the value of the stock.
So as of now, the BDR system is designed to avoid these legal issues, to avoid being classified as a security, because the BDR contracts that I've read now, they define a BDR as something that trades the economic rights and not the full ownership rights. So if I'm a holder of a BDR, I do not actually get to vote in a company. I do not actually get to own the share, but I only participate in the profits.
Unlike real shares that must be traded in whole numbers on a registered public market, BDRs can be traded in fractions on a decentralized internet system named Bitshares exchange. If that reminds you a bit of the bitcoins, you are probably right. It's the same idea. Venture capitalist Ran Chao, who has invested in DACx, also thinks this model has potential and says he's invested several $1 million in the company.
他们就是利用这个 blockchain 这个技术去拿可以说任何一个资产数字化，然后创造流通性，分散的让更多的人可以去拥有这些资产，所以这是很 powerful 一个主意它会让资产可以更分散大家都可以拥有实际上跟我们投的途家网是一样的，途家网是让房东们在他没用他自己的房子的时候可以分享给大家，所以这概念是一样的，只是他用这个技术来做得更方便，更有流通性。
Once the crowdfunding project receives the required funds, however, DACx will charge 0.6% of the total amount of money collected as a commission fee. DACx first holds investments in escrow in Alipay's Yuebao and returns them with 6% annual interest if the fund does not reach its target.
对于我们来说，特别是初创型企业，规模可能要比盈利重要的多，所以短期内投资者也对我们没有更多的盈利压力，所以我们希望把所有的目标集中在扩大用户规模和扩大一个整个众筹的体量的情况下。
Mr. Gong doesn't want to only focus on US stocks, however. He says he's thinking of launching equity crowdfunding projects for small and micro enterprises, and he promises to work on the same model, digitizing the money invested and spreading it across a variety of stocks.
Well, crowdfunding is one thing. Giving someone your money and trusting them to buy something for you somewhere else is another. And trading pieces of that something for pieces of something else that somebody says they own on an unregulated exchange is a third. Its backers say it's all innovation. And that it certainly is. We'll be keeping an eye on it for you, though. Setting aside US stocks, we'll have some thoughts for you about China stocks in On Reflection coming up right after this.